poquito del
they're
arroz.
acting out their fear.
Un poquito,
And
solamente
when you
porque
stop
estoy
doing that and you
llena.
feel what's going on, that's what David's talking about. So that's beautiful. Thank you, David.
Is anyone else?
Yeah, I can share. I know for me, when I'm in a frightened part telling a story, I'll give a whole bunch of detail. And even going off of what you guys are talking about with abuse, for me, I would have a frightened part that wouldn't want to talk about it. And I get distracted by telling a whole bunch of stories and take a conversation over here, all to just try to avoid talking about maybe what would really need to be talked about. So I know I can do that too.
Well, is it you or a frightened part?
A frightened part of my personality. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you know it, but I want to explain to everyone who might not that this is not a matter of semantics. This is not learning a language. This is a matter of being accurate about the dynamics within you. It's not you that's distracting yourself and others. It's not you that's taking the story over here instead of where it started to go. When you're in a frightened part, when you're speaking from it, when you are controlled by it, it feels like you doing those things because you can't separate yourself from that part of your personality. It's physical experiences, it's emotional experiences, it's thoughts. But as you begin to acquire multi-sensory perception, which all of us on this call now are,
In this event, yes.
In this event, yes, this event, you can begin to look inside yourself and see that in that moment of distracting yourself or others, you are being controlled by a part of your personality that is not loving. It doesn't care about others. It's in fear, which means it's in pain. The two are identical. And then decide not to act on it. That's the potential that opens before you. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to move into that potential or let yourself be distracted anyway? In other words, are you going to indulge the frightened part or challenge it by reaching for health, for love, for clarity, for integrity? That takes strength. That takes commitment. That takes courage. Takes all of the authentic power guidelines. They name them one by one. Commitment, courage, compassion, conscious communication and action.
And all the guidelines underneath all of those
Yes.
are so important.
Those are just the categories of the guidelines.
Yeah.
So go on seatofthesoul.com and now.
No, they've got it.
Oh, you've got it, of course. It's in your
We tell them
package.
all the time.
Yes.
And for you that are new, we haven't spoken about them very much, but the Authentic Power Guidelines are how Gary and I, well, when we were learning, when we were working together and practicing ourselves, that's what came to us as a guide for us.
As we were looking for ways to articulate.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
And it's your clarity. A lot of it's your clarity, beloved, that I was able to focus our articulation into fewer and fewer and fewer words. And we invite you to be even more precise if you can. And the more,
Most importantly, to practice what was in the guidelines so that you can create authentic power.
That's right. And the deeper your understanding and experience of creating authentic power, the more simplicity you'll be able to articulate it with.
Indeed.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you so
really
much.
appreciate your opening this conversation.
Yeah.
And Kristen has been creating authentic power a long time. So it's so easy to fall back into saying, boy, I really feel down today. Well, take a look at the difference between that and, the frightened part of my personality is feeling depressed today, and here's what it feels like in terms of physical sensations in my chest, throat, and solar plexus. And here's what it's thinking. And now what am I going to do? Am I going to stay there and be someone who's depressed? Or am I going to reach for health? No one can answer that but you. Eventually, you'll reach because the pain will be too great to continue otherwise. Why not reach now?
Good idea. Will you put up the next visual, please? Yes. Your purpose on earth is to become a personality that creates with the intentions of your soul. And we talked about that before: harmony, cooperation, sharing, and reverence for life.
Play with
So,
him. Play with him. He's
Those
looking
are
at these
the
things.
intentions of the soul. And we're going to do a little exercise about
Look,
that.
you see what?
So
You want to
what
move
I
him
want you to
facing you
do is,
from the base?
first of all, let's look at the definition. And as we look at the multi-sensory definition for these words that are intentions of the soul, I want you to open yourself to that, to see what you're drawn to, because there'll be a number. We're going to show slides. You're going to close your eyes and be with it just for a moment to see what you're drawn to. What's really drawing you? Which intention of the soul is drawing you right now? So we're going to start with visual 20, which is about harmony. So while you look at this, it's the energy of connection generated by love. So I want you to just close your eyes and open yourself to see if that draws you, or in what way it draws you. And you can write a little note in your book if you need to.
Your journal?
Yeah, in your journal.
that's the best
So just
place.
close your eyes now.
Harmony. Energy of connection generated by love.
So now we're going to go to the next slide, which is cooperation. So cooperation, multi-sensory cooperation, is co-creation. Just close your eyes and see if that is what draws you right now. You see it again below?
Multi-sensory cooperation is co-creation. Co-creation is cooperation in the service of love, in the service of creativity, in the service of connection. 5 sensory humans can cooperate. They can cooperate to make a better nuclear bomb or to capture market share. But co-creation is something more than that. That's creativity that's shared, that's enjoyed. It becomes the goal itself. And the objective becomes the vehicle to experience the joy of co-creation. Multi-sensory cooperation is co-creation.
Mm-hmm. You just be with that for a moment. Write down what you need to. And now we're going to go to visual number 22 about sharing. Sharing, giving without attachment and receiving without reservation, enriches both the giver and the receiver. That's sharing. So close your eyes and
Notice it says giving without attachment.
yes,
No second agenda. No
that's right.
writing a check to a charity so people will see you're generous and get your name on a building if you're very wealthy. There's no wealth in that. That's spiritual poverty. It says, but if you give the same without attachment, if you receive without reservation, if you have parts of your personality that say, oh no, not me, I don't deserve that, really. Or the inverse of it, saying, I don't deserve that, when it really thinks, you bet I deserve it, I'm better than everyone else. All of those are not sharing. Sharing enriches both the giver and the receiver. No attachment, no reservation. Sharing, that's an intention of your soul.
Yeah. So be with this for a moment. Now we're going to go on to reverence for life. Accepting all life is, in and of itself, of value. A form and a depth of contact with life that is way beyond the shell form and into essence. contact with the essence of each thing and person and plant and bird and animal. Everything.
Not so hard, darling.
And close your eyes and see if what that means for you right now. Open your eyes
Hey.
right now.
Not too hard, not too hard, not too hard.
So we're going to do a little exercise right now, and you will also be going into a small breathing course to talk about these things.
Specifically, I want you to talk about
So close your eyes right now, again, and let yourself relax, and open to the core intentions of the soul.
What happened? What happened?
And reverence for life.
Hey, just get me some.
Open yourself to the one that you are drawn to most at this
What
time.
happened?